What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and Netmarble has released the patch details for all the 3 new uniforms for Psylocke, Colossus, and Mr. Sinister. And I gotta tell you guys, initially, from everything that I've read so far, nothing really wowed me. Nothing made me think, oh my god, this is the new meta. It's more like Colossus is going to be more of a pain in the butt because all 3 of these characters, by the way, got awakened skills, but I mean, he's going to have awakened skills, he's going to have higher stats. They did a couple little changes to his uniform. I do think that Psylocke is going to be stronger in her newest uniform, and Mr. Sinister, I believe, is definitely going to be stronger in his newest uniform, as well as we read through all these details. Now, this is all going to be coming in waves, which is actually pretty cool. We don't have some long maintenance period, which is something that I can definitely appreciate, which is really, really nice. And all the uniforms are going to be 40% off. Now, the first uniform we're starting with is Psylocke. Now, personally, guys, aesthetically, I don't really care for this. I don't like the roses around her head. I don't know. It just looks weird to me. I definitely prefer her original look a lot more, but you know, that's just a subjective thing. That's just my opinion. Some of you might really like it, and if you do, that's awesome. She still remains a blast character, and they did do a couple things for her. So in her uniform effect, they changed her original uniform effect at 20% increase of HP. Now it has 30%. They gave her a ignore target dodge rate by 40%, which is pretty awesome, especially for null. And they also gave her extra skill damage by 15% and bonus damage by 15%. This is something that's really nice. That's really going to add to her damage. Now, what they did for her 4-star passive is they gave her guard break immunity, which is amazing because before, Psylocke had a lot of problems getting guard broken. This is going to help tremendously, which is awesome. She also has increased mind resist, which she already had, and immune to mind control, which she already had. But then her tier 2 passive, they actually changed this thing. Before, this was all penetration. Now they gave her critical damage increase by 30%, which is really kind of showing more PvE, and then increased guaranteed critical rate by 30%, increased mind damage by 35%. So something I want you guys to note really quick right now is they put the increased mind damage here on her 4-star passive, but on her 5th skill, they took it away. On her original uniform, she actually had increased mind damage by 35% on her 5th skill. Why they switched them around is beyond me, but they did. It's kind of weird. So in that respect, it's still the same damage output. And then on her 3rd skill, they gave her a movable skill, which is awesome because originally this is a charge skill. And when you're charging, you just sit in a pocket. It makes, I don't know, sometimes it makes characters a little unorthodox to play. I don't know. Some characters are kind of fun, like Sharon Rogers is kind of fun to do it that way. But there's a lot of characters that have charge skills that just, I don't know, they're awkward to play sometimes. And it's really, I'm really happy to see that they changed that. That is awesome. They also gave her an insane heal. 16% recovery of max HP is the chef's kiss, guys. I mean, that is really, really awesome that they gave her a heal. I'm so happy to see that. As you all know, we need to see heals. Now, originally, the previous uniform had 20% all attack. This uniform gives her 30%. So she's actually gaining another 10% attack from having this uniform. But on the 4th skill, they give her another 35% attack buff. So she's actually getting an extra 45% extra attack, which is nice, along with the guard break immunity, along with the heal. So I do believe it is going to be stronger. And then her 5th skill has a damage proc also, something that the previous uniform didn't have. So it's actually quite nice. She does have a charm, and in regular World Boss, this will give her an extra heal. But in World Boss Legend, it won't. And then we scroll down to Mr. Sinister. Now, Mr. Sinister, now he's going to be getting guaranteed dodge rate. He's going to get ignore target dodge rate by 30%, which is nice for null, obviously. But he's also getting guard break immunity from having the uniform. That's really cool. Means he won't be getting guard broken. Still a blast type, which is great. And then his 4-star passive, they actually changed this a little bit because originally this was remove all debuff and it lasted for 2 seconds. Now it lasts for 10 seconds. And the cooldown time before was 140 seconds, and now it's 90 seconds. So this is really going to help him out a lot, and maybe even PvP. I mean, when I look at this, it can definitely help in PvE, right? But it might be a PvP thing. But however, when you look through his kit, it just kind of makes you wonder if he will be good for PvP. And then his tier 2 passive changes the increased summon character basic attacks and base defense by 30%. Originally, it was 15%, so they jumped it up another 15%, and then gives him a decreased basic damage received by 30%. That's pretty cool. And then his 1 skill, I mean, it's nothing really major here. The 2 skill, they added this increased basic damage received by 10%. It's going to make him a little bit stronger, do a little bit more damage, which is nice. And then the 3rd skill gives him a heal, which he already had. He already had the 70% increase of attack, so okay. And then his 4th skill Gives him an increase all basic attack by 20% and all speed by 10%, which he didn't have before. So he is getting an extra 20% attack in this newest uniform, which is nice. It's a little bit, it's nothing really major, but you don't see any accumulation, do you? You don't see any accumulation at all, and you don't see any accumulation on Psylocke either. So it kind of makes you wonder how strong they're actually going to be. And then his fifth skill actually gives him invincibility. So he's got immunity, he's got invincibility. I mean, there's not a tremendous difference in the uniforms. I mean, other than getting the guard break immunity, less extra ignore dodge, really it's something else that's going to make them a little bit better for PvP, as we'll look at in a little bit. And then we have Colossus, who's still a combat type, and for his uniform effect, they gave him a decreased physical damage received by 40%, which he didn't have before, and they jumped up his decreased basic damage received by 30% in his original uniform, the Phoenix 5 uniform, to 35%. So they gave him an extra 5% decreased basic damage received, making it a little bit more annoying. And then his 4-star passive changed the decreased basic damage received from reflected effects by 60% originally in the Phoenix 5 uniform to 65%. This is all the same as it was before. And then the tier 2 passive, you know, he still has the super armor, and they increased all his basic defense by 30%. This was 15% in the Phoenix 5 uniform, so they gave him an extra 15% increase to his basic defenses, and they also increased his skill damage from his previous uniform. Originally it was 32%, now it's 45%. So they jumped him up a little bit. His skill 1 is very similar from what it was before. The skill 2 is very similar to what it was before. The skill 3, they actually took away his damage accumulation. He actually, before, originally had a damage accumulation based on the damage he'd take, and they took that away, and they gave him an increased basic defense by 40%, okay? And then the 4th skill, they actually gave him a 45% increase of attack. So that's really nice to see that. They gave him a nice increased attack by 45%, which is pretty damn cool. And then the 5th skill is pretty much the same old, same old. He's still got this 0.5% accumulation, which isn't that good. I mean, everything's pretty much the same as it was before. They didn't really do a lot for him. And pretty much they're just going to be changing the animations, which it doesn't look like there was really a lot done for Colossus in all reality. I mean, the increased basic attack by 45% is nice, but taking away his other accumulation, I mean, we're just going to have to see how that plays out. And then we get into the awakened skills themselves, and it's pretty much the same old textbook stuff. I will note that Mr. Sinister and Colossus actually got damage procs on their awakened skills, but Psylocke did not. She does get accumulation on her awakened skill, but it's only 0.8%, and this is kind of what I mean by, like, this update, like, it don't wow me. Like, none of these characters are wowing me. It's more like, no, okay, right? Like I said earlier, it's just, if I would have seen 1% or 1.2% here, I'd be like, but you never know, right? She could be a god, right? Psylocke's actually very, very strong right now. And, you know, depending on how many hits she does, right? Depending on how often you can cancel your skills, how fast you can cancel skills, a lot of things come into play as far as how much damage characters can do. I mean, sometimes things can be very misleading when you're actually reading them. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. She got the, you know, all defense down, it goes up to 70%. I believe all of them got the up to 70% all defense down. Yeah, pretty much. And then you can scroll down here, and then you can take a look at their awakened skills. Now, I do think Psylocke looks pretty damn cool from what I can see. Kind of jumps up and shoots a little ray up at the end of it, which is pretty nice, pretty nice. Got a little tornado there spinning around, pretty cool. Sinister kind of rises up looking all stoic, right? It's pretty neat. And Colossus looks like he does a belly flop in his, man. He kind of looks like he just kind of jumps down and lands on top of him. I mean, that's what he looks like he's doing. He looks like he's doing about a belly flop. And then we get into the artifacts. And yeah, so they screwed Psylocke. In my opinion, they screwed her. They gave her an 80% chance to increase critical damage by 35% on critical attacks. I mean, it's going to make her hit a lot harder, but it's not the greatest of things. I really would have preferred to see all attack, but you never know. I mean, an extra increase of critical damage by 35% is, I mean, it's definitely going to make her stronger. And then Mr. Sinister, yeah, I mean, he's got the whole Hella thing going on. They give him guard break immunity, which is wacky. He's already got guard break immunity, so I don't know why they had this on his artifact. And he's got the HP does not drop to 1 or below. So, I mean, right there tells you PvP. But he has no ignore iframe in his kit. None whatsoever. You know, if I see it like an ignore iframe, I think, you know, but I mean, it's just, he's going to be one of the characters who might be a little bit of a nuisance, but we'll see how strong he's actually going to be. I mean, it remains to be seen. He's got some heals in his kit, so, I mean, we'll see. And then Colossus here, 50% chance rate when hit, he gets a heal. So Colossus gets a heal from his artifact, kind of like what they did with Heimdall. Not bad, Netmarble. So they pretty much made it to where if you want Colossus to have a heal, because he doesn't have a heal in his kit whatsoever. He doesn't have any heals at all in his kit. So if you want this guy to have a heal, and it is on a low cooldown, right? It's actually better than Heimdall's because this is only on a 5-second cooldown. So you actually, it will make him much better for PvP and PvE to have that artifact. Really, this is the best. Well, I mean, arguably, these two are really the best in my opinion. I feel like Salah kind of got the shaft a little bit, but let me know what y'all think about that. And then, of course, we got some game error fixes. But, I mean, like I said, guys, I'm not really wowed by anything that I'm looking at. I'm pretty much seeing the same old typical copy and paste when it comes to the awakened skills. 0.8% accumulation is nothing to wow anybody. They do, I mean, I will mention that, even though Colossus has 0.5% accumulation, we saw that with Spider-Man. He did have a 0.4% accumulation, but it actually rose up. So maybe Colossus will have the same thing, but I think he's really going to be more for PvP, more of a support in PvP, and just be more of a nuisance than what he already is. But it remains to be seen how strong these characters are actually going to be. So let me know what y'all think about the 3 new uniforms. Do you like them? Are you happy with the upgrades that they're actually going to be getting? I personally am going to remain reserved until I actually can play with them and see how strong they actually are compared to their previous uniforms. So let me know how y'all feeling about the patch details. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.